Here it comes. Oh, my goodness. In your life, have you seen anything like that? They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing. And now it comes down to one putt for the win. Is it his time?
I like that little jingle at the end there. The dun-dun-dun-dun. We're back, Pitchmark Collective. We got a full cast today. We got Justin. This is Cam. We got TL2. Teddy Lossier the second burns it to the ground. What's up, Teddy? What's up, Justin?
I'm kind of bummed because it's 40 degrees outside, and I just left Tampa where it was 75. So I really kind of appreciated that warmth, like that warmth on my face. It was nice.
A little humidity for you.
You had some great weather when you were here, outside of a couple little light showers.
Outside of the 2 hours that you and I spent huddled in a golf cart.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a nice transition. So Teddy and Justin connected for the first time and played some golf at El Campeon. What is the full name?
At Mission Inn Golf and Resort. They have two courses, Las Colinas and El Campeon. We played the El Campeon, which is the harder of the two.
I was so skeptical as I'm driving out there. For one, all of a sudden I leave the hotel and it just starts downpouring, and I'm like, mother, really, Teddy? Dang it. And I drive through it and it's fine. And then I'm driving along, and I don't know why GPS is taking me on some back road, but I am passing so many trailer parks. Like
trailer park capital of the world.
That's like middle Florida, pal.
But it was like, yeah, and I guess I'm just West Coast my entire life, so I have no idea about.
Never seen a trailer park in his life.
No, we have one or two, but
you should see him after the hurricanes.
Yeah, yeah. But it was
They're
like
not there.
It was it was intense. Like there was a lot. So
it's kind of a culture shock. It seems like, Justin.
I mean, the culture shock was driving from Charlotte to Pinehurst.
Yeah,
like that's some banjo playing shit back there. Like this was just like minor banjo, maybe a fiddle or something. Like
yeah,
North Carolina has that banjo shit back there.
Yeah, for sure. That Deliverance vibe to it.
Yeah,
if you've seen that movie.
Yeah. But when you pull in the resort, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is actually nice. But like Teddy and I were talking about it, the course is nice. I mean, the weather was kind of mediocre, but it's interesting. I've never played on Bermuda before. Well, I did once, but that was 3 years ago. And so like Bermuda is tough, but Bermuda does not look as lush as like bent grass, which was kind of interesting.
Yes.
So
outside of like the really nice courses,
right?
Yeah, for the most part, everybody else is just mowing, maybe treating some weeded areas, but
yeah, that was kind of different just to see that.
Teddy knows this, but when I'm like greenside and I got like a 54, 58 degree wedge in my hand on Bermuda grass, I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea.
Before
ounce of a club, never heard of it.
Yeah, before we teed off, like the range, there's a little like chipping green off to the side of the range, and so Justin made a smart decision to try to kind of figure out little chips and pitch shots. But once we got out on the course, like, I mean, there were several times where Justin would like ask like about different options on like how to hit these shots, and like, yeah, for the most part, it's like just putt it. Like if you have no idea, just putt it.
And on the range, like I'm hitting shots and I'm like, oh, this is actually like I've got this. This is fine. And then get out and there was like 3 shots where it was just big chunk and you're like, damn.
A lot of putting, a lot of maybe like a hybrid, off the tight lie, a little bump and run action for sure. Especially when you get on those courses, say they're Donald Ross designed or influenced, where there's just no keeping it on the green unless you hit it exactly where you need to. Putting is a strong option. So,
well,
Teddy,
luckily, like where we played, it didn't have like a lot of runoff areas.
Mhm.
It was either bunkers, water, or just rough. So
Yeah.
like
Small
there's only
greens though, which was
the greens were like surprisingly small for how difficult the course is. But yeah, so at least like he only had a couple shots where it was like if we were anywhere else, this would absolutely suck. But luckily there'd be some rough or something where you could get, the club underneath the ball. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. So Teddy, I was going to kick this off with just, Justin's a tinkerer. He plays the most golf out of us three, right?
Yes.
He's actively getting more speed. We've seen his putting
shout
stats.
out to Stack.
Shout out to Stack System, the unofficial sponsor of the Pitchmark Collective. Give us just a quick little review of the lefties game and what you thought of it and all
Yeah,
that.
I mean the lefty's got some game. He liked to hit that little cut off the tee. I wouldn't say it was the most consistent, but I think it was just an off day. He caught a couple drives that were bombs where off the tee box, we were like, I don't even know where that is. This could be gone. This could be on another hole. And then we get up and it's in the middle of the fairway, like 330.
Yeah,
So
position A, where you want to be. Gotcha.
So he hit a couple good ones. Putting, like I know I don't have Grint, so I'm not able to follow along on these crazy like 40 plus putt rounds.
Whoa. Not 40
Okay,
plus,
30,
but
36,
30,
whatever.
34 to 36 is
35 and up. He's had a
out of
couple
the
of them.
normal.
I was expecting it to be even worse because of the grain, and Justin holed some putts that he had no business making. He made a couple like 20 plus footers. He was draining 10 footers like they were nothing. I don't know. Did you keep a Grint?
Yeah, I had 31 putts.
31 putts. I mean, it was crazy. I had not seen that before.
I had
Which,
one
probably is pretty good for a guy who doesn't put on Bermuda a lot.
Yeah, no, 31's fine. I'd say like 28 to 31 putts around. That's fine. You're making a couple. I think you had what, 1 3-putt, maybe 2.
One 3-putt. It was on that par 3 where I fell in love with a line and hit it like 10 feet by. It was like
that was hole 12 for the listeners. I got his Grint pulled up right here.
Yeah.
But even like some of his 2-putts, like he got a little aggressive with the speed on a few, but then he'd make like a 4-footer coming back, 5-footer coming back, like, and they weren't easy putts. So yeah, it was impressive.
Well, we decided to play match play because we both rolled up to the course and we're like, there's constant 20-mile-an-hour wind going on right now.
Yeah, 20 plus.
Like
it was
35-mile-an-hour gusts. This is going to be really interesting. Neither of us have seen this course. I mean, Teddy saw it back.
So Teddy, that was your first time playing.
No, I saw it. I played
when he was 15 or something.
Yeah, I played a couple tournaments when I was a teenager. So that was the only reason like I recognized that one, and I remembered it being like a decent course, and it was kind of halfway between us. So that's why I picked it. I remembered it being hard, and that memory was correct. It was a difficult course. Had some tough holes. But yeah, I mean, outside of just some dead areas and stuff, like the greens were good. I thought Justin probably
the greens were phenomenal. It was. I mean, I'm still on like our courses aren't even mowing yet, so because it's winter, so putting on
it's not green up there either. It's brown right now.
So putting on greens that were like mowed and like firm, it was like, oh my gosh, this is.
And they were smooth. I mean, they were probably rolling 11 on the
I'd say
spin.
like 10.5, 11. But with all the wind and the lack of like course, we were like, all right, let's just do match play, because if we're stressing out about strokes and stuff, this is gonna suck. So that
also
was probably
the weather coming in. We weren't sure if it was gonna rain, so it was like
it could speed it up too if like one of you guys out of the hole.
Let's just pick it up and go.
The guy who brought the carts out, he's like, I'm like, oh, it's a little windy. He's like, yep, only gonna get worse. Have fun. I'm like, all right, welcome to Florida.
Yeah. But we pretty much had the course to ourselves, so that was nice. It was us, their like Wednesday men's group, which was, I don't know, like 8 guys, and then the Howard men's golf team. It was just us on the course. So that was
Did
pretty
you
cool.
guys see Howard?
Until what, hole 12?
Yeah, something like that.
Like,
Friday
like
night we didn't see anything.
at one point we looked up and we were like, oh, we're 43 minutes ahead of schedule. This is
Yeah.
interesting. Like, you know, in the cart where it says like your timing. That was funny.
Did you see any of the Howard golf team hit any shots? Like
Yep.
what was that like?
Striped it.
Were they good?
All of them
Yeah.
players.
There was like what, 3 in front of us. So once we caught up to him, we could see him, and then there was like adjacent tee boxes, and there was a couple of them. I mean, swinging Ventus Black drivers, and it sounded
Strike
like a tour shot going off. You're like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that thing is
They
crushed.
had some speed. They definitely had some speed.
So good luck
Fair
to
enough.
wherever they're going at Howard Golf Team.
Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now. See where they're playing.
There-
USF September 8th.
There
Never
was
mind.
no reason. Oh, are they playing at USF?
No, that's down the road. I'm trying to pull it up.
I didn't see anything on their schedule when you asked about it last night.
Yeah.
I pulled it up. I didn't see anything that gave a reason for them to be there. But I thought I overheard because somebody was asking them, just one of the random other guys that was out there, and I thought one of them said like he himself had a tournament there soon or something like that. So,
Mhm.
so I'm not too sure. So I guess they just turned into and maybe it's their spring break too. So
Right.
So I did beat Teddy in the first PMC
Yes.
match.
yes,
Went 2 up. But he also had on what, the 4th hole?
Yes.
First hole we roll up and we're like, where is this hole? Okay, we'll just both hit driver because why not? Even though we get up there and we're like, oh, this is a little bit shorter than we thought. And he hits a draw and he's like, huh, I always hit a cut. This is strange. We get up to the second hole, which I think was a par 3.
yes.
And then third hole, another driver hole. He's like, this is weird. I hit a draw. I never hit draws. And I think it was the 4th hole we finally get up there. Hits just it. He's like, I'm gonna play for the draw this time, and throws out there, and it just goes like straight right. We're like, huh, that wasn't a draw. Yeah, do you have a wrench? Yeah, let me grab it. So I grab it out of the bag, give it to him, and all of a sudden he's going like this, like, oh, this isn't good. And the label just spun on the shaft, which was comical because he sent you a text and I think Tim, and he gets in the cart. He's like, these guys just think that I can't hit driver right now. They don't understand that it's physically broken.
Because all Teddy would say in the text is, "My driver is broken," and then the next thing would be a video from you, Justin, of him hitting off the fairway, like 30 yards off the fairway in the rough. So I was like, "Oh, he just can't get it on the
You just
on the
can't hit
fairway."
a straight drive. Yeah.
No,
No.
that was actually broken.
No, it was broken. So then we're already playing 7,000 plus yards. Most of the holes are dead into the wind. 30 plus mile an hour gusts. I'm playing a 4-wood now off the tee.
Stinger forwards off the
On
tee there.
these-
Trying to be a stinger.
Trying to be stinger. Top 2 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now we're playing, 480 yard par 4s into the wind, and I got a 4-wood off the tee. Cool. This is going to be great. So yeah, some holes that I should be hitting like a 9-iron into, I'm hitting a 7 or a 6-iron. Just like, this is going to be awful.
And
Yeah.
I do have a video of him hitting a 4-wood into a par 3, which
Yes.
that might be like, I might
That-
actually say that's like my birdie of the week, because that was just, both of us were just laughing. I just smoked a driving iron and got right on the middle of the green. I was like, I
It
have
was like
nothing
a
else.
230-yard par 3 into the wind or something.
It was
Yeah, I think
205 or
216.
something
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Yeah.
It was
Playing
205. But
260.
yeah,
Yeah.
the wind was nuts.
No.
So yeah, that was birdie of the week, watching Teddy just like full rip
Just try
a 4-wood
to
and get to the
finesse a
front of the
high
green.
4-wood. Yeah. To be fair, the number was good. I was just my ball ended up next to the bunker, and I couldn't physically swing it right-handed from the bunker and make contact with the golf ball.
Mhm.
So then I tried flipping over my 60-degree wedge, That didn't work. And then a couple holes later, I think it was 16. It's an island green surrounded by a bunker, and I airmailed the green. I'm in the bunker right up against the bulkhead, and I physically couldn't put a club on the golf ball and advance it towards the green. So then I just sculled it like 10 feet away from the bulkhead, then hit a bunker shot on the green, and then missed the putt. So, yeah, it was fun. It was a great day.
Teddy, what did you end up shooting?
What'd you shoot, Justin?
I shot
80?
81.
81? I probably shot 84, 85, something like that.
Yeah.
Which
Very nice.
actually felt like we were playing a lot better golf, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah, we hit some
Missions
bad
in length,
shots.
I mean.
Yeah. We hit some bad shots. We hit some good shots. But yeah, when we hit a bad shot, like it was a bogey minimum.
Yeah.
So
the first video I got in the text thread was Teddy making like an 8-foot putt for birdie.
that was par. That was par. That was good.
That was par.
That was
okay.
par.
All right.
Birdie didn't come until the back 9.
Yeah.
Like it was brutal trying to
and that was
actually like
top
make a birdie.
So
Yeah.
Well, Justin, you alluded to something we're going to be doing new every week on the podcast. We're going to do birdie and bogey of the week. So, why don't we kick it off? Justin, what was your birdie of the week that you just mentioned?
My birdie of the week was watching a par 3. Teddy hit full rip 4-wood. Like that's phenomenal. That's awesome.
All right.
And be 10 high.
Yeah.
Teddy, birdie of the week?
Birdie of the week, outside of the one birdie that I had yesterday, I would say being able to meet up with Justin and play some golf and meet him in person and spend a few hours together. It was fun. We had a great day. We had a good time.
How far of a drive was it for you, Teddy?
2.5 hours.
It's commitment. He's committed to the cause.
Well, and
Justin, about an hour for you?
A little over an hour and a half. So.
Oh, it's pretty decent for you too. Then. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Left at like
Cam, what was
7 a.m.
Listen,
what was your birdie of the week?
I got 2 birdies of the week. One happened last week. It's not golf related. The other one is. So we're gonna start with the non-golf related one. I was in Spokane, Washington, small little town, quaint, not a bad little city, and where I went to dinner called Wooden City had the best homemade croutons I've ever had in a salad.
Whoa!
Got Caesar salad, and it was delicious.
Was this a pre-meal salad, or this was?
Yeah. No, pre-meal, little side salad. The meal is also part of the birdie of the week because it was spicy lamb rigatoni. It was one of the best things I've ever eaten. So that's my birdie of the week, non-golf related. Golf related, it's kind of a more general experience that we all have. It's like when you tell the significant other, like, hey, going to play golf. I'll be unavailable this time, and they just say, go ahead. Or they don't give you the flack.
Yeah.
They don't give you the pushback because they know who they marry. They know who they're dating, and it's a golfer. So that's kind of a.
Those are two good birdies.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm a little biased, but I agree.
So what did she say yes to you going to go play?
I'm going to go play Sunday.
Ooh.
We got some good weather rolling in here. We had a little bit of snow, but it's going to be melted by Sunday playing after church. It's called Homestead Golf Course out in Lakewood. It's really well kept. I think it's par 65 executive course.
Sweet.
I've only played it one other time. So that'll be fun with my buddy Mike Palm.
Shout out Mike.
Yeah. I've seen Mike's golf swing.
So we played Broken Tee last year, and hole 1, you can drive it from the tips. And when Mike gets a hold of it, like it can go, put it to like 4 feet, made his first eagle. He was so stoked. I was stoked for him. I'm like, that's sick. Because it also it ran up there through the green side bunker. There's water all on the left. Like it was an awesome shot. I was like, I think you're going to be pretty good, Mike. We get up there. He's like, that's not my ball. I'm like, that's your ball, Mike. That's literally your ball. Go tap that in, bud.
That's sick.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun. So we got bogeys of the week. Anybody got a bogey of the week they want to start us off with?
Well,
I do.
Pretty Teddy's. Yeah. Teddy, your bogey of the week.
Yeah, my bogey of the week is PGA Superstores. I dropped a shaft off to them to have them switch the adapter from a Callaway to a TaylorMade. I've used it 4 times, and it has failed. And I wasn't able to use a driver on a day that I was looking forward to playing golf with a buddy, and they screwed me. They screwed me. They screwed my score. Screwed my handicap. Yeah, that was my bogey. Now I got to figure out a new shaft.
Now you got to find some like local shop that you trust.
I got to
or
find
somebody
somewhere
you
else
know.
to take it to. I got to find
Yeah.
time during the week to get it done. I was gonna try to play this weekend. I don't really want to without a driver. So yeah, they owe me.
It's a good bogey. I'd probably go in there and cause a stink, to be honest with you, if it only
I've thought
lasted
about it.
4 rounds.
Yeah, I got some scenarios in my head with some lines that I can
You just
say.
like running them through when you're like taking a shower in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
like, when I go, okay, I'm going to ask to speak to this guy. And, I'm not going to be an asshole about it. Maybe I'll do it for free. And then I'll have them go ahead and put the tip on my the other driver shaft that I have ready to go. Or I'll be an asshole and then then I'll just get everything for free and then never go there again. But it's a mile from my apartment, so I kind of need to go there for other stuff sometimes. So,
This is more like a double bogey of the week.
Yeah, you can't. You don't want to sever the relationship completely, right? You don't want to be the guy that when you walk in to go buy balls, are like,
right? They're like,
this
guy,
asshole.
he definitely threatened to.
But you also have a case of like, hey guys, like this lasted 4 rounds. You did this work.
Is there something that you guys are doing, and you
should
probably
fix this?
Do something else throughout your process.
You could be like, listen, I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods when I was in high school. I know what I'm doing. Whatever. All right, that's a good bogey, Teddy. I like it.
What's yours, Cam?
The kiddo was sick yesterday. We got a little 4-year-old, and he had the highest temp that I've ever registered, personally with him. At bedtime, it was like 104. Gave him med. He threw it up. I was like, I can't necessarily just give you more medicine because I have no idea how much you just ingested. So I kind of just sat with him for a little bit. He fell asleep. And then I woke up at 2 a.m. I was like, let me go check his temp. He has a history of febrile seizures, which happens when the child's temperature jumps too rapidly, like instantly from like regular to high temp. Has a seizure. He hasn't had one since his initial episode when he just turned 1, but we're always on high alert when it comes to fevers. So I checked him at like 2 a.m. It was like 102, 103. I'm like, all right, it's high. So I woke him up. He was awake. He's like, I opened his door. He's like, hi, Daddy. I'm like, why are you awake? So gave him meds, took it, kept it down, chugged a bunch of water. I woke up 7 a.m. sleeping right next to him. He's just smiling at me. I'm like, no, that wasn't in the plan. But luckily he's healthy. But a sick kid is always a bogey in my experience. So
is that why you couldn't make our tea time?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't make it out there to El Campeon. Had to cancel last minute.
Happens.
Yep.
I was traveling for work, and that's how I got down to Tampa. And I honestly the place I was kind of stoked on. I was like, oh, this will be a cool place to go stay. And I gotta say, bogey of the week was actually the first night they had this welcome party, and cool little theme. And we're going to this seafood place, and 4 people got food poisoning that night.
Ooh,
from the oysters. So
this is in a coastal town where you're at.
Coastal town, yeah. So I'm pumped about. I'm like, oh, oysters, sweet. I'll get to, I'm in the middle of Oregon, right? Like we don't necessarily have a ton of fresh seafood, so I was like, oh, this would be sweet. And the guy who's with me, Dylan Cam, and he's like food guy, and he goes on there and he's like, don't try those. There's something weird with them. And then we found out the next day there was 3 people that actually got sick. So yeah.
So you're excited about the seafood that you didn't get to have.
Yeah, I honestly didn't have any of it after that point. I was like, all right, we're gonna.
As a fat guy, I relate to you, Justin, right now. All right, I've never been closer to you than at this very moment.
It was weird though. Every meal that we had, for whatever reason, had mushrooms? Like that was my question I was going to ask you, Teddy. Like, is Tampa known for foraging mushrooms or
I
something?
have a
Because
No,
every single meal had it.
I've never heard that before in my life.
It was so
I was
strange.
born there. We lived there for 10 years. Never.
never
right.
had a mushroom in Tampa. Teddy had his first mushroom in Kentucky.
Well,
where
I mean, I probably had mushrooms, but no, Tampa's not known for it. Now they do have a strawberry festival every year. That's pretty fun.
Can I tell you about the best festival I've ever been to in Florida?
Oh, here we
It
go.
was the Stone Crab Festival in Key Largo, Florida. It was awesome. It was expensive as all hell to buy the crab and stuff, but it was good. And it was on my birthday. That helped.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you were feeling good too. So probably eat
Yeah, I mean,
anything at that point and be like, yeah, this is
a
awesome.
couple drinks, at that time where I was staying, the owner of the house was like, hey, I got a bag of, marijuana in the freezer. He kept it in the freezer. Really weird. I don't know why. But it worked out very well.
That's
So,
a pro move.
yeah.
From what I've heard.
From what I've
Not
heard.
that you know or have a pound of marijuana in your freezer at this moment, but
Yeah.
No.
just kidding, DEA.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's our birdie and bogey of the week. The rest of the podcast, we're going to be talking about the Cognizant and how, PGA National just gave it up to the players at a 5 under cut. I mean, like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Are we like? Let's start off with this. Are you guys fans of like the 20 under, the 25 under that we're starting to see? Like, look at the last few tournaments. The scores are nuts. All
Listen,
right, Cam, we see it.
listen. Especially in the peak of golf season, I see plenty of bad golf. I play plenty of bad golf. I like watching the best athletes, the best golfers in the world play their sport well. All right, I like that. I like that the U.S. Open's like kind of the one-off, like dedicated tournament. Like, we are going to push your shit in. Like, I don't mind that. I don't necessarily want to see that every week.
Yeah.
On the reverse, I get it. The Cognizant historically has been a tough course based off conditions, and also I think the weather plays a big role into it, right? I mean, that course known for windy conditions, which will also dry out a course, blah blah blah. We're getting that right now at the Arnold Palmer. We're recording this on 3/6 Thursday. Arnold Palmer first round's over, and we'll talk about it. But the course, beat up a lot of guys, and that's what people wanted last week. I like Birdie Fest. I see both sides of the story. If you ask me, like, hey, professional golf tournaments are going to be one way, which would you vote? I'd say Birdie Fest.
I almost go the other way. I don't know. Like, I just want to see some of the difficulty of it, and I want to see some of the, because I think seeing some of the frustration and like the big shifts on the leaderboard. I mean, if you look at last week's leaderboard, there's 15 people within like 2 strokes at one point. Like, it was kind of crazy how many people were on the top of the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But
we
I think
did
that's
see
what
the
you
big
can
blow
get
up from Nap,
when.
but
I think that's what you get though on some of these birdie fests. The only thing I don't like about those is when it's like the off week tournaments where it's just a field full of nobody you've ever heard of, and yeah, there's like 10 guys that are 20 under with a chance to win it, but like you have no idea who any of them are.
yeah.
That's the only time I don't really like it. But yeah,
So you're
if it's
saying if
one of
like the
the
Puerto Rico Open was like winner was 38 under, you'd be like, yeah, it's kind of lame.
yeah, I'm just and that's probably not the best example just because it's like they do get some guys that are needing some starts, so you get
Right.
some names. But yeah, when it's if it's one or the other, I agree with you, Cam. Like the U.S. Open, yes, give me 1 under to win it, but everything else, if it's 21, 22 under, the guy's going to shoot 59. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. That being said, homeboy shot 59. He almost made the putt for 58. Jake Knapp. I mean, it's hard to do on any golf course, like outside of like, if they were playing like an executive course, which they never do in a competition, right? But anyways, I digress. 59 is a feat in itself. He's what, the 15th player to do it? I mean,
Now, it was a par 71.
Justin's just doing this to rile me up.
It was a par 71. And I know I'm gonna get roasted. I'm sure Tyler will be the first one to chime in and say I'm an idiot for this.
It'll probably actually be Tim if you want to know.
But is it
Yeah.
truly the same
Tyler will
if
say that before your take.
if it's a
If-
par 70, like a par 72 59 is, I mean, that's different than a par 71, right? No?
Well, technically, yes. You're 13 under par on a par 72 compared to 12 under par.
That was my point.
But when you play a par 71, you're also, par fives pretty much approached at all times as like a birdie hole. That is a birdie hole to all these guys. You
True.
take away one of those opportunities with a par 71.
So is it being a par 71, is it more impressive?
I think it's equally
less impressive because it's not 13 under.
I think it's equally impressive.
It's equally impressive, yeah.
All right. I can take that.
Especially like tournament setting, like yes, the course was playing way easier than it historically has. Right? Like they weren't doing this 5 years ago on this course. They're not even doing it, that could be the only 59 we see this year.
Yeah, it doesn't happen on a regular basis.
Right. It's impressive. It helps he has the tempo he has because it just looks so easy to him, especially on Thursday. It just looked like he was out there just literally throwing the club head at the ball, and it was going exactly where he wanted it to go.
I mean, he's hitting 190 mile an hour ball speed, and he looks like Freddie.
That's almost as fast as you, isn't it?
No,
almost.
I wish.
Almost.
Shout out to Stack System.
Okay.
I think it's impressive. I'll piggyback off this. I was like, if you shoot 59 on day one of a tournament and you don't close out that tournament, you had pretty much the lead the entire time. Did Jake Knapp choke away the tournament? I'm saying yes.
I don't think so. I think it's tough to, especially round one, like to sustain that sort of game for the next 3 days. Like I feel like some of these guys, like you can get in the zone. I mean, Scotty Scheffler was pretty much in the zone for an entire year last year, but outside of that, like they can get it going for like maybe 4 days consecutively and win a tournament, or like they just go all out one day and then just kind of like taper off and
so you just played the perfect, air quotes on that, perfect round of golf, right? So how do you follow up perfection? Like what?
I'll tell you how
Jake Knapp you're just trying to hold it together at that point.
With a 70, a 68, and a 72. That's how he followed up his perfection.
So I looked it up.
72 won over on a Sunday where guys were shooting 64.
True.
Nobody else.
Yeah, I mean,
Highsmith
and what's his name? Jacob Bridgman. He both of them got 64 on Sunday. But I was looking something up when you said this, Kim. So there's 14 people in history to shoot a 59 in a tournament, and this is kind of interesting.
Only like half of them won their tournament. It's less than half, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Al Geiberger in 1977 won his tournament.
You guys remember that one?
How could I forget about Al?
I actually remember David Duvall when he did this at the Bob Hope Classic, because that was like a big deal. Like that was huge. And I mean, the wraparound glasses, those were fantastic.
Wasn't he also like a phenom for a little bit? Like they were
at that point,
this guy's the next guy.
Yeah, and then in 2010 we've got Stuart Appleby who won, Justin Thomas at the Sony Open and won, Brandt Snedeker in 2018 won, and that's the last person to actually win.
Wasn't Brandt Snedeker also the last guy to make the number on the cut and win a tournament outside of Highsmith?
Is that what happened?
I don't think it was that tournament, but I think he was also the last guy to do that before Highsmith.
Oh, interesting.
Could be wrong.
All right.
Maybe I'm mixing things up.
But some notable names here, like Jake Knapp obviously did it this year. Last year there was two people.
Springer,
can you guys
and
guess? Okay, so Cam's got one. Teddy, do
That
you
was at
know the other one?
John Deere, and then
It was the John
Pot
Deere.
Eater
Yeah,
did it on Corn Ferry Tour.
yeah, but not the PGA. I don't think you're gonna
59.
get this one. This one's actually pretty tough.
What
But
tournament was it?
I remember watching it. Travelers.
Oh, it was Cam Young.
It was, yeah. Third round, he came out because he was playing like dog poo, and then
I remember he made like a 30-foot putt on like 60 of those late in the round. I'm like, dude, this dude's like locked in. Like
Yeah.
he's like, you look up locked in, and it's gonna be a picture of Cam Young.
It's like Justin on Bermuda.
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
and
The
then
81, the 59, very close comparison.
and then from those two in 2024, 2020 was Scotty Scheffler. So like 4 years of nothing. Then
Where did he shoot 59?
At the Northern Trust in round 2. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that Tiger never shot that low.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his average was like 67.
64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God knows how long.
I don't think Jack's on that list. Palmer's not on that list. It's kind of just like truly like a lightning in a bottle like thing to happen.
Or is
Furyk on there twice? Or was he just the 58?
golf ball?
Yeah, Furyk is on there twice.
Twice,
The 2013 BMW Championship, which tied for third. And then
I think he's one of the winners too.
2000. Nope. 2016 is when he shot he actually shot a 58.
Yeah, he's 58. Right.
Yeah, he shot a 58 and he finished tied for 5th at the Travelers.
Furyk won, he's the US Open, right? He won a US Open. That's his one major.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you this, but Teddy, you know Whipple. He played Atlantic Beach.
Atlantic Beach, yeah.
Yeah, it looked awesome. The pictures he was showing me.
It's a swanky private club.
Yeah, he hits a shot up to like 16 green. Pretty good shot, he said, and all of a sudden there's a guy up there. He's like, oh shit, I didn't see this guy. And it's Jim Furyk, and Jim Furyk literally just looked at him and said, nice shot, dude. So that was pretty cool. So it was a pretty cool experience. Living vicariously through Jeff Whipple, as always.
I mean, I do have...
He talked about it this was last Wednesday, I think, is when he played. He's talked about it every day since then.
I do have a little bit more respect for like Jim Furyk after seeing him at the President's Cup. Like I think he did some cool stuff. Like I like the super aggressive attitude from him in that.
Yeah, I mean is he an icon in golf? Like is Jim Furyk part of that?
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
icon
you kind of
discussion?
have to, I think, with his golf swing.
With the swing, he's had pretty good success, major winner. He shot 58 and 59. I mean, how many PGA Tour wins does he have?
I mean, he was
double digits, right?
He was pre-Tiger Woods, like before the blow up of golf and what we expect from it. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting though. I don't think I've ever thought of Jim Furyk as an icon, but
I remember like in the old Tiger Woods game, I would beat Jim Furyk. Like we would make a rule like, all right, dude, you just like literally can't beat Tiger. Like it's like, who are you gonna be? I'm like, I'm gonna be this dude who swings a golf club different than everybody else.
Yeah. So 17 career wins. I mean,
that's pretty good. That's
probably say he's an icon at that point.
Yeah.
$71 million in career earnings.
Yeah.
So that's like he's at like 150 million at this point with how purses have gone up.
Little perspective. Rory just won his 27th PGA Tour win, and still has at least 20 years probably on the PGA Tour. He's 35, 55 at most, maybe depending on how his body holds up.
Yeah.
Let's do 15 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50.
Here, guess how many events Furyk's played in?
I'm gonna say. This is gonna be astronomical. I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, dude. The first number that came in my head was 1,200. I'm like, that's way too much.
That is way too much. That's way too much.
I'm gonna say like 578.
I'm gonna say 604.
636.
That's a lot.
636, like not just
That's
rounds,
just like
events.
professional
Like that's
tournaments
crazy.
and stuff.
But I did look up Rory after you were talking about that, and he has 27 career wins, right? Obviously joined the tour in 2010, which 27 career wins only puts him at 95 million. So I'm wildly wrong on my estimate of Furyk's winnings going up. But he has 259 events.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been on tour for a long time.
Yeah.
They're definitely playing less golf
Yeah,
than people who early 90s, late 80s probably had to play to make money and stuff. So
totally. But yeah.
sponsorships weren't nearly as lucrative, I'm sure. Inflation,
So
economics, Teddy.
did you guys watch Sunday though? Because Sunday, I mean, obviously we talked about Knapp just completely blowing up on that hole 13, trying to hit a ball out of the water, not once but twice.
Yeah.
So
Justin,
last
you were
year,
able to accomplish that feat yesterday.
yeah, yeah, I should actually
Wasn't even
post
that hard.
video. Yeah,
A little less water, but
a
the
little
sentiment's
less
there.
water. Yeah, but
Some say mud is harder than water.
So last year I got in an argument with you, Cam, on one of these, and it was over Tom Kim in the playoff, and I said that is a caddy issue for him not to give him. He hit full gas lob wedge, and for the caddy not to call him off and be like, "You need to hit sandwich." Jake Knapp needs to listen to his damn caddy and go back and be hitting three from the fairway and try and make par that way. Like, what was he thinking? He lost the entire tournament in trying
Wouldn't
to
that be
hit the cooler
four?
ball.
That'd be 4 from the fairway.
Oh yeah, sorry, it wasn't his
1,
tee shot.
2
You're right.
in, take the drop, 3,
Yeah.
so 4. I agree.
Like,
I don't agree about the Tom Kim situation last year
I
against
was gonna
Scotty
say.
Scheffler. Don't agree with
But
that.
I will say I kind of disagree. Like I understand why he would just go ahead and hit. I think it's one of those things where, yeah, you're already best case making bogey. If I can just get this up on the green and have a chance to make a putt, like I'm going to do that. And obviously he felt like he could hit the golf ball. I think if you see enough of the golf ball, I mean, these guys, they try all those different types of shots all the time, especially growing up. So he probably had a pretty good idea on what he needed to do. It just didn't work out, obviously, twice.
I
was
would say
committed.
2. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you back off a guy who's that committed? Like,
No, because you're going to lose either way.
yeah, it's a tough situation. I mean,
You're not gonna be
if
committed.
he hits a good shot out of there, it's a hero shot. Maybe he wins the tournament. Maybe
Yeah.
he shanks a drive left on his next hole. But yeah, I mean that pretty much sealed the deal on his what I'm calling a choke and collapse.
Yeah.
Reports are reporting, Ted.
I really wanted to see that.
Oh, it would have been a great win because Tim Hunt was hating on Jake Knapp because we briefly talked about him for 5 seconds on the previous pod. He was like, "You guys are Jake Knapp,
Glazers."
I'm like, dude, we literally talked about him for 5 seconds. And so when he came out and shot 59, dude, I was just rubbing it in Tim's face. I couldn't not. I'm like, what are you talking about? Call Jake Knapp a bottom dweller and he comes out and shoots 59? Okay. All right, Tim. Shout out Tim Hunt, #1 listener of Pitchmark Collective.
So what's more of a choke? Jake Knapp this week or Potgieter last week?
Jake Knapp's was a long choke. Potgieter was a pretty sudden choke coming down the stretch.
Was it long? Because Jake Knapp was still in the lead when he made that mistake.
True.
There wasn't a lot of
but
variation.
what hole was that? That was
13.
Was it
13? Yeah.
Pretty sure it was either 13 or 14.
Let's just pull up the scorecard. It was hole 11. He made triple.
Oh, okay, I was off. Yeah.
He parred out. He made
par
pars the rest of the way in.
Yeah. Just make one birdie.
Yeah.
Just
Well, at
one.
that point, he needed like 4 birdies because he finished at 15 under when it was at 19.
So I will say, pot
So he
Gears is
actually
more of
didn't lose.
like,
He didn't lose the tournament. He would only be at 18 under if he parred out after that and made par there.
true.
So, pot gator?
I don't know.
I said it. I said it earlier. Did I not? About
Yeah, you did.
3 minutes ago, I said pot eater. Then Justin came back me all hard and stuff. I'm like, we got to figure this out. All right. So Cognizant. And do you think the PGA Tour, because the PGA pretty much took control, right, of like setup and conditions. Do you think they're going to listen to the fan base? Actually, let me back up. Do you think golf fans, let's say your average golf fan, whatever that is, prefer a birdie fest or want to see the pros struggling? I think people who get deep cuts like us, people who are into golf, most people are probably going to aim towards like, I want to see them struggle. The Bernies
Yeah, I
of the
think a
world.
casual.
Casuals want to watch Birdie Fest.
Oh no,
Really?
I think
Okay.
the opposite. I think a casual
Really?
fan wants to see. Yeah, casual fan is the one that's playing. Maybe
I think
weekend, once a weekend, like every
I
month
think
or
they want to
so.
look at Jake Knapp and be like, oh, he's one of us. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he
Like
wants to
I
see
think
all
they
of
want
them
to.
struggle.
I really do. So, but I think we
Okay.
should like. That'd be awesome to hear some comments from people of like, do you want to see a birdie fest or do you want to actually see like struggle?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it has changed in the last few years. Like Cam, I think your point of like you want to see them playing their best and like going at it. I think that's pretty damn valid. And maybe
What
I'm
other sport do we root for the people that we like to
play bad,
be successful to play bad?
but it well, and I will argue with that. Then are they playing bad or are they playing up to a
I think
course that
it's
is just
I think
destroying
it's just
them,
a course
right?
is too difficult where it's obvious the one spot, it's like a 5 foot radius that you can hit it in on this like huge undulating fast green, and they miss it by an inch. And now it's rolling off the front of the green or bouncing off the back and in the bunker. Like
Yeah.
it's not necessarily them playing bad. It's just, of course, it's just that tough to where you miss it by the smallest fraction and you're just tough.
I think that's what I like seeing more than seeing like a player struggle. It's more like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to be absolutely perfect. If you're not, well, you better get ready and hold on type thing.
Yeah, like a U.S. Open setup, like Pinehurst, like an Oakmont. I mean, I was just watching a little bit of the Oakmont final round from I think it's 16, and Shane Lowry had like a 4-stroke lead and just gave it up because course was too tough. He played it well 3 days and then just day 4 came around, didn't play it.
And I
You can
think
only get
Johnson came
lucky
in.
so many times.
Yeah.
like
Like
for
Pinehurst is probably a
every
pretty good example. Like when they bake that out and they
Mhm.
cut it down them greens and it's like glass. I mean, I don't know how many shots I hit on number 2 with the guys like, yeah, that wasn't staying here a month ago. You'd be 40 yards back in the fairway because of the turtleback greens. So I don't mind it. I don't know if I want to see it every week though. I think I think it can get to a good mix of like the Cognizant should have stayed tough, right? It didn't. They blew it out of the water. The golfers did. But we're getting a little payback on that aspect with the Arnold Palmer, which historically has been that way, right? Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 guys come out and shoot a nice little round every day, but like today it was almost 3 shots over par on average. So I think if the PGA Tour and the events can get a good mix, that's the sweet spot, right?
Yeah,
I don't think the Arnold Palmer gets enough credit, like for how they set up Bay Hill and how hard it is. Like when you go and see that, like 3 years ago, I went and walked the second round, or no, it was the first round. The first round I walked, and just looking at them hitting shots and watching like balls just roll out, and you're like, that thing's not going to stop, and he just hit an 8-iron into this. That's crazy. Or this is also like right before Rory went on his run to become like a good player again. I had that like couple years where it was like, dude, you were playing horrible golf.
Yeah.
And he came to the Arnold Palmer, and even not playing good, he had just a crowd around him. Like it was crazy to watch that. But I remember it was on the back nine. I think it was like hole 11. He hit this shot and it went like almost short-sided himself in the rough. And I'm standing up on the hole, like, 60 feet away. And I'm like, I don't even see the ball. Like, where is his golf ball at? And he finds the golf ball and he just takes this huge, soft swing flop shot and just throws it straight up 10 feet, rolls out 5 feet, like close. And it was like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
none of us here, like, and I mean, I would consider Teddy, you probably have got some creativity with wedges. I love hitting flop shots and wedges. And like, I think I can hit a lot of different shots. There's not a chance I'm pulling that shot off like that.
Yeah.
Out
Out
of
of that.
10 shots.
Yeah.
He
Rory
was
actually
amazing.
historically plays the Arnold Palmer pretty well. I mean, last year was 21st at 1 under par. 2023 second, at 8 under. So like 8 under, I think that's a good spot to be, right? For, winning score on kind of just, we'll call it, now it's a signature event, of course, but run of the mill PGA Tour event. I think like if you get that 8 under par, 10 under par is like the winning score, that means you're seeing a lot of guys not, like the course is kind of beating them up as well. But Rory's never had a worse finish than that 21st. He's been top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6 times. I mean, he plays it pretty
Now,
well.
as we start talking about like the Arnold Palmer, what do you guys think about the player backed tournaments? Like, this is something that I think personally, I think they should do more of. Like, obviously Nicholas has the Memorial, Tiger has the Genesis, Arnold Palmer has, the API or Bay Hill, whatever you want to call it on that. Do you like bringing some of that historical piece back, or like having some of these players sponsor the events and like be kind of based on them?
Yeah, I think it works well for the Arnold Palmer, right? Like he's been here forever. Arnold Palmer was a staple there. Like it's his
kind of built the
tournament.
course to
Yeah.
host that tournament. Yeah.
Definitely makes sense for this. I don't mind Tiger and what else does he do? The Hero, right? The Hero is his.
Yeah.
Genesis and
like is
the Hero.
hosted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he's in the eyes of many the greatest golfer of all time.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I don't think it's going to be a big deal if some of that gets increased or goes away. I think you got to keep the Arnold Palmer just because of the
Who it
history
is.
there. But like if Tiger Woods stops hosting the Genesis, like maybe it doesn't become a signature event and kind of fades off, but something will pick up in its return. But I don't know.
I just think the stories associated, like I was listening to XM Radio and they were talking, or no, I was listening to the Smiley Show on the way to meet with Teddy, and he was talking with Matt Wallace, who won. I mean, before the API actually became a big tournament, like it was like mid-tier, like it wasn't even a top tournament you really wanted to go to. And he had won it twice, and he was talking about how he got to shake like Arnold Palmer's hand and how they do some of the tradition of it, and it went from a sword to a Carnigan and stuff like that. And it was like, dude, that's cool historical stuff that I don't know. We don't get that type of stuff in sport that often.
That probably plays a factor into like why the golfer wants to win it, right? Especially like when Arnold was still around. Like, yeah, dude, you win this, you literally get time with Arnold Palmer. You get to shake his hand, you get to talk to him, he gets to give you his card again, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was probably high on a lot of people's list. And I think if you talk to the winners of the tournament before Arnold passed, like they'd say that. I guess now the young generation, like Ludwig was probably stoked, right, to hang out with Tiger for a few minutes, right? So
or Max Homa, when he won it, he was talking about that like that was one of the biggest honors. I guess
Max is probably like, why didn't I wait a couple years to win as a signature event? Because now he's one of the guys who shot 80 today. So
I guess when you think about, we don't have as many greats in the golf game that we would consider, right? Like as you do,
they're still playing, but
like that, so like who would take over that?
I mean, maybe Phil comes back and hosts a tournament on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
maybe they'll welcome him back with open arms.
What an agreement with Liv looks like. Maybe Phil, hands out coffee to all the patrons and just gives you walking shoes and says, "Hey,
and
man,
gummies.
no sitting down."
Yeah. Gummies,
coffee, some
walking
vests, some picks.
I actually didn't really like Phil up until maybe like a couple years ago. Maybe even when he won at Kiowa, I wasn't like, oh, this is cool, dude.
I never really liked him.
I
Oh,
think I
and
would have
see,
rather see Brooks win that, and I didn't like Brooks.
like I've always just been like
Oh, the
huge Phil
left-hander
fan.
likes,
Lefty.
left-hander
I
likes
mean,
Phil, huh?
yeah,
Shock.
Shocking.
but it was also like Phil was there before Tiger, right? So like I was following Phil and then Tiger comes on and you're like, oh, well, he's gonna be awesome. And I mean, Tiger didn't like win his first tournament or anything, right? Like he took him a few years to like ramp up. And so I was still like all Phil all the time because I'd follow him since I was a kid. I mean, I even remember having a Arizona State head cover because that's where he went to college at, and I wanted that, So I wasn't gonna just leave it for that, and then I stopped playing golf. So,
Do you think like Justin, to piggyback off your thought of like we don't have a lot of like greats left, right? I mean, you got the old guys, Nicholas and Gary Player still around. Phil's still playing. Tiger's trying to still play. Do you think like the longevity that golf gives its athletes like kind of is detrimental in that aspect of like we don't have like it takes forever for a guy to retire because Bernhard Langer is like 90 and just wins every Champions Tour event.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's a valid point. I mean, if they were just like gone, kind of like baseball or football, right? Like what the average,
Like the legend, you know what I'm saying? The legend around the player,
yeah.
right? Like I don't know. Just thought I
Well,
had after you said
I
what you
mean, the
said.
average football career is what, 13 years, 10 years?
It's got to be
I
less than
think it's
that.
less than that. Yeah.
And then the average baseball career is something like that. So and then you got golf here where we've got Jim Furyk who's still playing golf and it wants to
Tiger's been
chase,
pro for like 30 years.
yeah, 600 events. So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
I think it's tough now because I mean these guys are just so good that like yeah you get somebody like Scotty that goes on a run and wins a few tournaments in 1 year, but you're not going to get these guys that are going to win 30 plus tournaments, 40 plus tournaments, multiple majors, and be in the position to like host these events. Like you'll have guys that still could have like a Hall of Fame career, but they're not going to go down as one of the greats to have played.
It seems like we're going to get a lot of like Scotty
what?
just had his year last year. It wouldn't be surprising if like a guy like Ludwig just comes on and has a similar type of run
Yeah.
this year. And then next year it's somebody else, or it's like Rory making a comeback and they're just trading off like whose season it is. Like you got Xander,
Mm-hmm.
you got Rory. Speed's not looking bad this year. Justin Thomas, he had a
Victor
great
Hovland, like
Hovland, whatever they say.
Hovland.
Yeah.
Like think
That
about his year when he won the tour championship. Where is he?
just fell off the face of the earth. Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is now. We're not going to see another, Tiger
It's gonna be like
Woods.
short sprints compared to
Yeah.
like a 10-year run, which
Yeah.
you can have in other sports. Patrick Mahomes, example, Exhibit A, like he's been in the Super Bowl 900 times and he's been in the league 4 years. It seems like
Yeah.
compared to like Tiger, he was on I mean, how long was his run? 12, 15 years of just pure dominance. Like we're not gonna get that in golf again. I don't think.
How many
Just
cuts
because
he
the
made
talent
and
field
all
is
of the
so
above.
wide. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't mention about the Cognizant though is Luke Clanton.
I was just gonna, as we were saying that, I was like, well, Luke Clayton could.
Yeah, maybe he's the guy. Dude's a stud. Got his tour card. I do like this kind of like I think is a positive. What I'm gonna chalk up to like the NIL thing is like he's like, listen, I got my tour card. I could literally just stash it away for another year and see
I
if we
think it's
can't
awesome.
win a championship here at Florida State. I do like that. I don't think they're gonna win. Like there's a lot of good college golf teams. Florida State is one of them. But I mean, I do like that aspect of kind of more of a loyalty to the team and loyalty to like his youth, right? Because once he gets up to tour, he's not going to have a whole lot of time for much. Not that he
Yeah.
does now, right? But these guys are on the road trying to win every week.
His game is so good too. Like
Yeah.
he's really fun to watch. I loved his interview. Like he was almost like Tiger-esque, where
He's
like,
so
I want to
so
win.
steady. He's very steady.
Yeah.
Like, he's not too up, he's not too down, but when he is up, he lets you know. When he's down, he kind of like you can tell, but he doesn't like wear it on his sleeve like a lot of these guys. His family seems like awesome. Just like they're sitting there on a Friday, like knowing this, they're son, their brother's life's going to change, and just like number one fans, you love to see that they're in like their little prayer circle in the middle of the tournament, right?
Yeah.
All because he got his tour card. It was cool to see. Congratulations, Luke Clayton. Come on the pod. We'll interview you.
Yeah. So
Shameless,
I've got
shameless
to
plug
ask.
city over here. All right.
Yeah, I know we're gonna go to like picks and stuff like that, but I do have to like bring up Joe Highsmith from the Cognizant, right? So I like again, I will self-admittedly say I have a soft spot for lefties. That's totally fine. I get a text from Going For It, another like YouTube channel, and he is like, Joe Highsmith is the biggest dork in golf right now. And I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't see it. I mean, the hat, sure, but I don't see the rest of it. Like, I think his game and everything is like solid. I don't know.
I forget. I think it's one of the like the scary movies, you know, like those parody movies where they get pulled over, and the state trooper has like their hat on, and like it pans away off her, goes to the guy she pulled over, and every time it goes back to her, the brim of her hat just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, the
Like in the
photoshops of his
action,
hat was just killing me.
that is so funny, and Twitter does that so well. Like they'll be like, what's the guy who just took over like director of the FBI? That Indian looking dude. He's like got bug
yeah.
eyes. He's like, I'll make this guy's eyes bigger. And one of them has the vice president right behind him, like all bug eyed too. I'm like, X is so great for that, no matter what Max Homa says. But no, I would agree. He did like that hat it's a choice. You know, it's a choice that you make consciously to put it on every golf round.
But like, and I guess my thought on it is, I don't know. I consider a lot of golfers to be dorks, anyways. Like, it's not like a Joe Cool. Like,
Mhm.
even like Jordan Spieth. I don't think Jordan Spieth is like the cool kid, you know. So like him being like, oh, he's the biggest dork
You
on
must have
tour, and
missed
I'm
that
like,
summer of 2017, pal, because them
oh
dudes were
yeah,
living it.
the spring break. We need more. We
It's
need
probably
more
way
of
after
that.
2017, but
Yeah.
I think the coolest story I think that came out of that was I didn't realize it until afterwards, but like that was Joe LaCava's son on his
The
bag,
fourth. Yeah.
and now they're playing the first two rounds of the API.
Yep.
Patrick Cantlay and Joe LaCava, and then Highsmith and LaCava the fourth or whatever it is. Like that's a pretty cool experience that doesn't probably happen a lot in golf, where the caddies are father son or related, right? And get to experience that for the first time. I
Highsmith
think
wouldn't
that's
even
pretty
have
cool.
made the signature event if he didn't win last week, and now they get to do that, which is like that's like what dreams are made of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a small cut at the API. I think Highsmith's set to make it at this point. He's got to come out and probably not shoot too far over par, but one PGA Tour win all it needs, and maybe the floodgates open. Right? Maybe we got the next superstar, and he's lefty, and he wears a big old brim hat.
I could definitely hope that he gets rid of the damn hat, but
He's not going to. How could
I
you,
know. Well,
Teddy?
and
What Teddy?
It's part of the brand now.
Yeah,
yeah, true. But I did notice how they did a close up of his face one day, and this is where he made me think of him as kind of like dorky. He had so much sunscreen on that it
Yeah.
was like a white film, and I was like, oh no, he is. Shoot, dang it.
yeah.
Like, come on, lefty, like be strong for the rest of us and like get
Going
rid of
for
that.
it was right. You're
Yeah,
nerdy.
damn it.
God forbid he prevents himself from getting skin cancer, guys.
Yeah, true. That is very valid.
You know what I didn't realize, and I don't even know if this is true, and we may need to edit this out. But like when you look at the LPGA, you know it's filled with like Asian women golfers, right? Just majority of the field, and a lot of them cake on
1 minute
sunscreen.
or
Yeah.
1 hour, 4 minutes.
Yeah, where Teddy all of a sudden Teddy starts paying attention.
But I
now
heard,
we're in trouble.
and I think this might be more historical, but it's like, yeah, a lot of Asian culture views, you know, when you have the tans and stuff, like you're as lower class. Do you think that's true? Because like they still have the industries out there where people are working out. You know, I mean, a lot of Asian countries are like almost overfilled with people, like overpopulated. I don't know, just a thought I had. I don't think we need to edit it out, but that's what I've heard over
Well,
history.
on the LPGA too, there's also a lot more like of the bigger hats. There's a lot more of the sleeves.
Yeah, so many sleeves. I
A
hate
lot of
sleeves.
sun sleeves. I mean, even from the, best player from the U.S., Nelly Corda, like she wears sun sleeves all the
Yeah.
time. So I
Maybe
don't.
it's just a fair skin type of thing. Like maybe ladies' skin is just a little bit more sensitive, and I'm just an idiot. That's probably more
I
than
mean,
likely the true.
Teddy, how proud
part.
of you of your golf tan line in junior golf?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about it too much. I definitely got sunburned a lot. I think this podcast is definitely brought to you by skin cancer. Um,
Melanoma.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think yeah, we should edit this out.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. So we should review picks from the
Yeah.
Cognizant. Teddy and I will just laugh at Justin because he's now in dead last
Now in dead
on
last.
his own. So Cognizant, I had picked Ben Griffin as a winner, who was closest to the top. Ben Griffin.
Pretty close.
You were right there with Daniel Berger for a long time until we were coming
The
down
first
the
three
stretch.
rounds, I was like, "Oh, this is solid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a win out of this. Like I could jump up 3 points."
Yep. And then
Nice.
dead last was Teddy with
Yep.
Brendan Todd, right?
And Brendan Todd literally hit the number of dead last.
Yeah.
He was dead last.
We all made good picks. Like Luke Donald, you picked Justin, I picked Ryan Palmer for the second week in a row. We all made pretty good picks, but Teddy hit it spot on.
Yeah.
And then the cut, which was ultimately 5 under, which had all of golf Twitter in a tizzy, especially Tron Carter. I think his last name's Carter from No Laying Up. He was just not having it. I actually don't mind him following him on Twitter. Been getting more into their stuff, but anyways, I had the cut line at 3 under. You guys went 2 and 1, and it was 5 under. So I got that one as well. So I got 2 points. The point standings are as follows. In dead last, we got Justin at 5 points. Second place, we got myself at 7. Made a comeback. Got to catch up Teddy.
Yeah.
Because Teddy's at 9 points. So there's 2 points between first, second, and third. Or first and second and third. So ultimately, it's early. Close race. All it takes is for somebody to pick the outright winner dead on, and you get 3 points, right? You're back in it, especially Justin.
Backing up.
That would put you in second. So,
and you have a chance this week.
So
and you do.
Going into this week, the only thought I had was, okay, what is the one person I know that will probably be in the top 5? Because
This is Scotty Scheffler.
I had a few thoughts, and I even sent a text to my daughter, and I was like, "Hey, who am I taking for winner, Scotty or Ludwig?" Because I was looking at some stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, this could match his course pretty well." And ultimately, I got a Scotty exclamation point from my daughter, and I was like, "All right, yeah, we're going with Scotty." So,
yep, Scotty. This is where he started his run last year, right? Kicked off at the Arnold Palmer.
He's won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, so he's looking to three-peat this and the Players next week. Is what you're saying?
Yep.
Cam, who'd you pick?
Actually, let me back up. Let me back up.
Wait.
I picked Rory, who's in a nice spot. Rory McIlroy, outright winner. I put some units on him for first round leader. It was looking good until his putter, dude, just does not cooperate with him. A couple times around, and it cost bigly. Teddy, we could probably tell who you picked by your little caption down there underneath your name.
Yeah, I was between him and I told you guys in the group chat I was between Shane Lowry and Sam Burns. I don't know what it is. I just can't get away from Sam Burns early in the year.
It's the flowing hair. You guys have a lot of hair under your hats.
Teddy watches Sam Burns beat up foreplay on YouTube every year, and just like that's the guy.
Well, his game is just, he hits the ball a long way. Like, he's a good ball striker. He can get hot with the putter. And it seemed like Bay Hill's a good course for him, so that's who I ended up going with. But I should have known, and I told you guys in the group chat, Lowry was either going to be top 5 or
Missed
missed
the
the
cut
cut.
by a mile. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you know?
And
He's
I will
tied for
correct
second.
I
myself.
believe he's solo second right now. Is that correct?
Tied for second.
Tied for second.
I'll correct myself real quick. Scotty did not win this back to back. He would be going for his second win this year. Sorry.
Right. Oh yeah, he's at the group of 3 under with Keegan, Corey Connors, Christian Dezay, Hout, and Shane Lowry. Yeah, but you
So-
picked a guy with the wicked good scorecard at +4 today.
Yeah, so if he just keeps a clean scorecard tomorrow, I mean, should be all right.
Teddy, how do you feel about Wyndham Clark being on the top right now?
Well, what's funny is I didn't mention his name, but when I was scrolling through the field trying to see like who I wanted to pick last night, he was the third option. But I was like, I can't even say him. Like he's not even playing that well. But there was just something about him that I was like, I think he's been looking pretty good in the TGL.
Yep.
And so I just kind of been like waiting for him to like pop up on the leaderboard. Sure enough,
He's here.
he's here. It was this week. This is when he was popping up. And he's currently leading the tournament. So
it's funny you say that because I looked at the forecast. I knew it was going to be windy in the morning. It did seem like it kind of leveled out a little bit in the afternoon, and I planned that. So when I put some units, on first round leaders,
Mhm.
I was this close to having Wyndham be part of my 3, and I put it on JT, Rory, and I think I did Sam Burns in your honor. To be honest with you.
Thank you.
And Rory, I wasn't upset with. JT had a nice back 9 today.
Mhm.
After a rough, I think out of the first 3 holes he had 2 doubles, and then clean card after. So that was nice. But I like Sam Burns as well. I think he's a good player. It seemed like this course should fit him. I think he's having some ball striking issues, which is showing. So, all right. Then there's a cut. This is one of the signature events with a cut. It looks like it's going to be astronomically high. I went with +5. Now we made the player picks, right? We made the player picks before we knew scores. The cut, not so much, right? So I picked
didn't know a
+5. Well, I'm sorry you didn't look at your ESPN or PGA Tour app. I can't help you, Justin.
I was actually mid-flight and didn't have the internet turned on. I just had text messages, so I was like,
Yeah.
5, and obviously Teddy grabbing 2. I was like, I'll grab +3.
Yep. So I'm at +5. Teddy's at +2, and Justin's at +3. I don't like where you're at, Teddy. Because
Nope, I don't
if
either.
what happens last year at +4, then you're kind of getting screwed. Justin and I both getting a point, which is good for us, Justin.
That's the entire reason I did that.
Yeah, it's a good call. I don't imagine they're going to go exceptionally low tomorrow to bring it down to +2, Teddy. But you'll be in my thoughts as we watch.
It's possible.
So DFLs. I just picked the first guy I didn't like the name. As I was scrolling, I picked Andrew Novak. I think he had a pretty decent round compared to the field today. So not looking good for me. Teddy went with the last guy in the field.
That was kind of Rafael Campos. That's kind of my thought process, and also like just with his game and
Teddy's
how windy it is.
Who shouldn't be here? That's who I'm picking.
Yeah. Well, and also like I just know like he's got a pretty quick swing. Like he puts a lot of spin on the ball. I was kind of thinking it was going to be pretty bad for him, and it was. He's almost dead last. He's at 8 over. Cam Young is currently in last place.
He's one of the 3 rounds in the 80s today. Max Homa's troubles just continue.
Dude, what? Max
Cam
Homa,
Young
where
has
are
fallen
you?
off the face of the earth since shooting 59 last year.
Tyler called Cam Young though.
He did.
Cam Young. He can't control his driver to save his life. So
Billy Horschel, Akshay had a bad day too, 79. Taylor Pendrith, 79. I mean, it was a tough day out there for the guys. I mean, let's call it,
Teddy had his thought process of he puts a ton of spin on the ball. How did you pick your DFL, Cam?
Oh, I said it. I just scrolled on
Okay.
the field until I saw a guy I didn't like his name.
So I
I said
went
Aaron Orange.
through like the historical rounds and I was like, I'm going to pick someone who has not made any cuts this year, which I also didn't notice that last week he actually did he was actually pretty good. So that's the only bummer about it, but he has missed 3 out of 4 cuts, Max McGreevy.
Yep.
I was like, this could be
Max.
a tough course. I think I'm gonna go with him.
He's currently tied with my winner pick, Sam Burns.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Close 4.
Teddy's got his winner and his DFL taken up at the very bottom of
Yes.
our list.
I got one locked up though. Possibly.
So I think
Hopefully.
it seems like we're all tracking a little bit to get some points this week after round 1, right? Teddy, you pretty much probably
Yeah.
got DFL locked up.
Feel pretty good.
I'm in best seat right now with Rory to win.
I'm
in the
only one
cut.
back with Scotty though.
Yeah. You did pick Scotty. There's always that. So you and I we're looking nicey on that end for that and the cut. You and I, Justin. So all right, should be exciting to watch. The Arnold Palmer signature event. Like golf's pretty much here. The golf season has started. We get the players the following week, and Masters is like literally a hop, skipping away. Like it's almost here. It's almost time. We're seeing the commercials. I'm watching the 2019 final round every day. Every day. Why not? Why not? I did swap out. I watched Oakmont a little bit. I got to put that back on. Tonight. Watched the Oakmont final round. That's a cool looking course. It's a cool looking course. So, all right, we're a little bit over here. Let's wrap it up. Teddy, you got anything you want to say to close us out, or what's on your mind?
Stay tuned for the socials. I'll be at the Players Tuesday practice round. So
I need to say something I haven't said before. This is
Okay.
news as of yesterday, but I might be going to the Masters on Tuesday practice round.
Wait, what?
I know a guy.
Wow.
My buddy hit me up. He's like, "You up for an adventure?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about, dude? Adventure with you just sounds scary." There's a guy I know out here, Joe Derby from the page. Teddy, he comments very sporadically. Play golf with him. He's the guy who shot 4 under last year with him, just playing around. I'm like, that looked like the easiest golf I've ever seen. We're probably going to Tuesday, so that'll be tight. Not to shit
Cool.
on
Happy for you.
players.
Yeah. No, happy. Well, at least I
Um,
can take pictures at the place that I go. So.
Oh,
At least you can get
burn.
content. I'm sneaking in my GoPro.
Okay.
I would like to hear how that attempt goes.
Yeah,
He's
guy
got
gets
a good
arrested
hiding
for
spot for it.
guy gets arrested with the GoPro in his butt.
Yeah.
All right. We're the Pitchmark Collective on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. We got Teddy. We got Justin, Cam signing off. Thank you for listening. Let us know what your birdie and bogey of the week is, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hmm.
Sweet.